Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We got a great show lined up as always. But first, our weather brought to us by Hayden Technical Center. We're hitting summertime. First of all, tomorrow now it'll be the longest day of the year. Go and put that on your calendar because this weekend day is going to start getting shorter. Now, with that being said, July 4th is right around the corner. What, about 2 weeks, I'm thinking, July 4th? And we always call that, believe it or not, July 4th is officially the halfway mark of the summer. Now, do you feel like your summer's halfway over? I don't either. But anyway, the time just doesn't wait on anyone. It just keeps on moving. So our high today is going to be 89 and low 78. Water temperature dropped 0.2 of a degree. It's down to 84.3. So it's really warm. River readings, Apalachicola, Bluntstown. Our river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood up on Highway 77 just north of Bozeman. The Apalachicola, Bluntstown reading an even 7 foot this morning and got a little bit of a drop to it, so that's not bad. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, it's got a 8.7. It's right at 9, right below 9. And it's starting to drop pretty steady now. So both the rivers now going into the weekend at this point in time looks like they're going to be dropping out. And we don't have any rain forecast the next couple of days, any heavy rain like we had last week with that low pressure area. So we'll keep that in mind too. The big thing though is the heat, just really, really hot. So like we always say, do something early and late, but in the middle of the day, try to stay in the shade as much as you can. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn, and the high tide is at 11:04 this morning. Today is June the 20th, and you got a good strong, today a decent tide. Man, the next couple of days is going to be just flat out weak, but next week is going to be some really strong tides. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to do some serious fishing next week. I don't know what, I'm going to catch all kinds of fish, but anyway, we're going to be catching the marine forecast to be west, straight out of west at 9. That's that magic number 9, okay? Let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I just got off the phone with the Panama City Beach Pier and got a live fishing report for y'all what's going on. Now here's what I wrote down. Yesterday, this is yesterday, what they caught yesterday, and they're fishing this morning, of course. They caught some redfish yesterday, they caught some hardtails and ladyfish, and then yesterday afternoon, they had a good run of king mackerel. So they didn't catch a lot of them, but they had a run of them. So that's what's going on up here. That's a typical summer pier report right there. And it's good, red fishing has been really good. So keep that in mind. Now, we've got some pictures and all. I've got all kinds of things I want to show y'all. Let's see, I'm going to see if we can get started on it. One thing, flathead only community catfish tournament. Okay, this is over at Bristol. Now we're about actually a month away from it, but I tell you this stuff ahead of time. So if you're like me, you like go and put it on your calendar. A lot of times I put it in pencil in case I have to erase it. But anyway, this is going to be this will be a good one here. The prizes, all kind of prizes, is going to be at the Bristol Landing, and the tournament help kids with the school clothes, back to school clothes. Okay, and got to be there. Fish must be alive at the weigh-in. That's interesting, okay? So anyway, I just want to pass that on to you. And also, Thursday, that's tomorrow, that Deer Manager one-on-one course is going to be at Chipola College from 9 to 3. And, how to learn about your property, deer biology 101. That's going to be interesting stuff. You meet the local officers, aging before. Now, they did tell me lunch will be provided, but they do want you to pre-register, which shouldn't be hard to do. Just that number right there in the middle of the page, 767-3634. So call that number there. Okay, now, let me see. Also, FWC, we're not in scallop season yet, but they just sent out a little bulletin. Make sure you get your flags and all lined up for scalloping, especially, if you really need, I find myself doing this, sometimes those flags get pretty rough. Make sure it's working and all. Don't get up that morning and go and don't have your flags. So go ahead and check your scalloping stuff and your flags and all, your diver down flags. Make sure you have it. Also got several questions on that St. Andrew boat ramp. Some people thought I was talking about St. Andrew State Park. And no, I was talking about the city, the little town and community of St. Andrews, okay? So St. Andrew State Park, you still can launch and park your trailer right up there on the hill, sort of, not too far. St. Andrew City, right next to Uncle Ernie's and all that, the little city park there, you cannot park your boat trailer in that lot that you've done for 100 years. You got to move it over there to the concrete area off the marina. So get those straight right there. Also, let me see, I got all kind of things to talk about today. Let's see. One of the things, let me see here. Let's show this picture here. Well, no, we're going to talk about that later. Let's go ahead and one thing, I got some breaking news. Let's go ahead and talk about that. They caught, we're talking about the CCA tournament and all the tag redfish and everything. Well, they've caught one. We're going to come back and show you the picture of it and all. Guess what? The first one was caught up here in the Florida Panhandle, and we felt like it was going to be a nice one. And let's go ahead. I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and show it now. Let me see if I get it in here. Let me see. All right, here it is, CCA Star. We have a winner. Okay, it's real and it can't happen to you. We have a first confirmed winner for the straw redfish. Congratulations to Alexander Hensley. And he got a choice of all kind of prizes. He picked out the Pathfinder 22-foot or the Yamaha 150, okay, and with a Minn Code and all that. And somebody asked, where was it caught? Right here in Panhandle region in Okaloosa County. And here's a young man that caught it. Now you know he is happy, and this was just happened, okay? First one, and there's a little tag. People ask what the tag's gonna look like. Is it like a skinny tag? And this year's color is pink. Sometimes they're left over from year to year, so this year's color is pink. It's got all the information on it right there, and you gotta measure the fish on a ruler, that's a specific ruler, and they tell you we can get those at some bait shops. But it's got to be measured, and the picture's got to be taken and sent in just like that, okay? And then this is what's cool. These by county is where they released them. You have 4 per county, basically. Well, I don't think Walter, y'all don't get but 3. I don't know, that's not fair. But everybody in the Panhandle got 4 fish tagged per county, and then they see on down. Now they did give 6 down to Hillsboro, Tampa Bay and all, and I can understand that place is huge. So I can understand putting 6 up in there and then 6 on the edges there. So all the way around, and way over there by Daytona Beach, my buddies over there, Mosquito Lagoon, they got 8. But again, that's a huge area. So that's very fair. I think that's very good. We got 4 apiece up here. So anyway, that is now officially in the books, and that is going to be, just be aware, you got to register. I registered last week, and I'm going to go out. I'm going to give y'all another week or 2 to try to go and catch one here locally. If you don't catch one, I'm going to go there and catch it within another week or 2, so y'all better get out there and try to catch it. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, let's start off a little video in this segment. Greg Brudnick has sent me some video. This is like 3 little short clips. It's going to be on my phone, but it's fascinating, and we're going to open this up. If y'all can send some video like less than 15 seconds of you catching a fish or something, let's see what old Greg's doing over here in East Bay. Maybe it's going to, all right, here it is on the bow, but he always got a cigar. That might be the key to catching some fish, is having a big old cigar like that. So I'll tell you where it's at. He's out. He loves fishing East Bay, but now he has a really easy access. His house is on the water over in the cove there, so he can just zip right up there and drop his boat and zip up there. So he does it good. So he's got a nice redfish on here. And we're talking about those redfish that's been tagged. I feel like they tagged 2 in East Bay and tagged 2 in West Bay. And I feel like that. I don't have that officially, but now this is not a tagged redfish, but you can see he's got it hooked good on here. And what is that a raccoon? What is that, Jeff? Is that a dog? Or a raccoon fall in the boat? All right. Now you got to remember now, if you got lightweight rod and reels, you want to take your time on these. You don't muscle these big redfish. You gotta finesse them and get them on in there. Okay, now okay, if I got them up to the boat, all right, now we'll go to the next. He cut the phone off and started back again. So now, one-man job here. He's got to I'll make sure the sound's off. All right, got him in the boat. All right, and that's how you do it one-handed. Now we want him to measure. Let's see how big this one is. Now, can y'all tell what he's fishing with? I know he likes that Paul Brown, okay. All right, those measuring devices are good. I like my ruler. I don't know. I guess Bill Allen, her dad, might be filming them. How can you tell? How long is that? 24 inch. All right, there he goes. All right, we'll catch him tomorrow. All right, Greg, good job. Thank you for sending that. One of the things we talked about too, and we can start doing that. If you want to sort of send me stuff, you can message me, and I can just put it on there. Don't make it real long. Keep it short like that. And if you're catching a bass or something, and we'll get some action shots. And don't worry about the sound. I'll just talk over it, okay? And that'll open up some more really exciting catches and all. Okay, one of the things I talked about yesterday, it was fascinating on the homesteads and all the things we're talking about, the self-sufficient farms and all. I got to thinking last night we were. I was telling Gail what all we talked about and everything, and I got this old picture. I've showed this picture before, but this is my grandmama and my granddaddy on their old homestead. It's not up there, okay. But anyway, and I guess that's why I'm so. I get really carried away with this kind of stuff on seed and all. And but I just want to share this with you because this is. What you see here, this is down Robert Brent hunting area now, sort of on the Liberty County. It's on the Gaston County side, close to Liberty County. But anyway, of course, this was bulldozed down when St. Joe came in and planted trees. But what I want to show you, a fascinating thing, if you look, and I'm thinking this is when they were getting ready to leave the place. The only reason they could have posed for a picture, because that's just a fascinating time. They had been in the 40s. But look at the yard behind the picket fence. Can y'all see the yard? All the yards back then, if you remember, there was all dirt and sand, and they didn't want any grass. And the reason they didn't want any grass was because of snakes and all getting in them. They wanted it all clear around the house. But you can see they have some camellias, and over on the left, the pecan trees and all that. Dad always told me about it. I actually never got to see that house. But anyway, that's a special picture, and it was a farm. But if you're like me, you've got some old things that your parents have passed down and all, and one of my favorite pieces of all time I've got from my dad years before he passed away is this right here. And okay, y'all see this? Okay, this is handmade. My granddad made this for my dad and his twin sister, Aunt May, when they were real little. This was their milking stool. This is what they sat on to milk the cows every morning, and they would take turns doing it. And but this somehow, it was well made. At that time, Granddad was in the sawmill business, cutting trees and all. So this is top. This is I guarantee you, it's some of the best wood you can get. But you can see how he made it and all. And I keep this in my house because it's just real special to me. But it's really heavy and really sturdy. But that's just some of the things, little things like that back then that Dad had fond memories of milking that cow. He wasn't fond at the time, but as he reflected back on it, he and his twin sister for those years sat on that stool. And everybody had a job on the farm. So, and the place, the last place I got to take him going fishing was down below that house in Teloja Creek. And I've still got it on video. I want to show the video one day too. So anyway, let's move on. I've got some more pictures, right? But I want to talk about the homestead. And got some more pictures to share with you. This is let me see. Okay. Is that, let's see, I got to find it. I always send you pictures in. I'll be glad to hear it is right here. Okay, let me see. Susie Gibson sent this one. Okay, check out these kids right here. Do they have a good day fishing? All right, and Susie said, Winston Chester, please put this on the show. And I will do. And the names, this is Hunter, Christopher, and Javin, the three cousins, okay? Hunter, Christopher, and Javin, all right? So we got that picture there. Now, also wanted to mention, the other day we were talking about last Tuesday or last Saturday morning, we were up there getting the actual trees and all for Catawba, and I was coming back on 231 about 10 or 11 o'clock or whatever, and I was going about 65 because I had the trees in the back of my truck, and I didn't want to go too fast, and this car comes flying up next to me, and I see it in the mirror, and it's coming up, and they're going about between 75 and 80, and I look over, and there was a girl driving, probably in her 20s, and she was like this, just like this, boom, 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 and I instinctively, all of a sudden, I just blew the horn. I just blew the horn. Of course, she'd already passed me by the time and what I was thinking, we're going to start a movement here. This is going to be the grassroots movement. When you see somebody flying by you and texting on a highway, not in town because you'd be blowing the horn all day, but how about just blowing the horn at them? You're doing them a favor because you might save their life, and you're doing your favor because you might save your life right up the road, because I guarantee you, going that fast, they have no control over it, and it is rampant now. And so why don't we just start blowing the horn at people texting? And it was, hey, just taking care of you, whatever. But anyway, I did that on Saturday morning. I got tickled. I just instinctively blew the horn, trying to get their attention because they're almost hypnotized doing it. So we may start a movement nationwide doing that. All right, let's take our final break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers, 6:54 to 8:54 this morning, and this evening from 7:18 to 9:18. And really now, with the weather clearing up and all, afternoon showers you ain't got to worry about, these late afternoons are going to be some good fishing. Got a picture coming out of Carabel from Captain Kim at Sea Quarters. She said the gang aboard, they had a great weekend. I don't have the names here, but look at the size of those red snapper coming out of Carabel down there. Really good picture right there. Also, let's take a look. We talk about a water temperature. I give it every day, and I do it for a reason. This is Panama City Beach. This is our local water temperature. Now look in June at the bottom of the line right there, June. And we're looking at, we're not quite at the peak of the actual temperature. It doesn't get much over 86, so we've been given 85, so we're really close to where it's going to peak out, around 86. Now sometimes they go above it, but the medium, the line in the middle is the average. Okay, so be aware of that. And also, here I did Pensacola too, just giving an idea of what they're doing too. July again is their hottest month too, and they're actually going to get a little bit warmer. It looks like the average high over there is almost 90. I thought that was fascinating. They're about 3 or 4 degrees warmer than we are, okay? Also, I know, be aware too, the mosquitoes, I don't know if you've been out late in the afternoon around the house and all, they're bad, really bad this weekend because all the rain we've had, they're just hatching all over the place. So be aware, protect yourself against mosquitoes. The thing about it, here's what happens if you're like me. You're going outdoors fishing and all, you get all prepared and put your long sleeves and all, but if you just step outside the house or do something in the backyard or something, or, for like 2 or 3 minutes, heck, you'll get bit 3 or 4 times if you're not careful, if you got on a pair of shorts, and that's all I wear. So I seem like I learned at my age not to do that anymore. But anyway, let's look at, I've got 2 things to talk about. I'm going to be able to squeeze but one of them in, but I was going to talk about bait fishing because we're really, you're at the point in time in the year, especially June, July, August, late June, and then the month of July, and especially the month of August, where really if you want to catch a lot of fish, you really need to start thinking about, fishing with live bait. I know some people that's all they fish with. About 90% of my fishing was artificial bait, but this time of year, especially if you got kids and all with you, you want to start concentrating on, just catching some live bait and just, 3 cast nets, some areas. We're going to talk about catching bait fish and all, different ways and all, and how to identify them. But go ahead and be thinking about that. And also, big thing, because there's so much bait out there, they don't go fool around with artificials that much. But of course they will. The other thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to get on to more bait fish later on, I want to show you a picture of Crab Island. This is over in Destin, over in Okaloosa County, where the home of the very first redfish that was caught in the 2018 CCA tournament was over in Okaloosa County. Okay, in Choctawhatchee Bay area. I don't know exactly where, but anyway, this is Crab Island in 1964. It actually was an island, okay? This area view looking out toward the Gulf, and there's the Destin Bridge. So it was an island at that time, but now, okay, if you look at it now, it's not an island, but it is an island of boats and all. Okay, you can see the bridge way back in there, but anyway, this is what it looks like actually from the bridge. So what I want you to be aware of, the history of that area. Okay, let me see, I got some more pictures here. Okay, here it is here, and okay, here it is here. This is better. You see it's not an island, but there's still a lot of boats and all. Fishing is just about non-existent during the weekends. I got tickled. I was reading about it last night with the Chamber of Commerce and Tourist Development Council. They want to get people to come down there, but one of the first things they did was a disclaimer on Shell Island saying, now I know it's got a bad reputation being a party place, but it's not all that. It is a good place for families. Well, it's really not, because if you've been, from what I've heard, I haven't been out there, it's just a big area to party. Now, the same situation lies true in certain different parts. You're not just alone in that area. If you go, we talk about here, Crab Island, also coming down here to Shell Island on weekends, Shell Island life. And I'm not saying all people going there partying, but a lot of people do, and that's really not outdoor stuff. There's a certain group of people who go there just with their families for the weekend. And same thing down there at the tip of the Cape. It's turned into a place like that. So be aware that as outdoorsmen, you have mixed feelings. You don't want them going out there and just, first of all, they're going to take away that fishing area. That's a given. They have a right to it also, but you can't fish there. Secondly, though, what it's doing is concentrating all those party people in one area, and that was leaving the rest of the bay open for you. Can you imagine if they had 2 or 3 spots? Same thing happens in freshwater up on the sandbars, up on Apalachicola River, north of Bluntstown or south of Bluntstown. A lot of people get out on weekends in those areas. So be aware of what's going on there. Be careful of those areas. If you're like me, don't like partake of that kind of thing, but a lot of people do that. But believe me, that might be an entry-level outdoorsman. That's not a lot of outdoor activities going on in those places. So especially on weekends. And I think you can fish those places early in the morning and on a weekday. That's the best way to target them. Shell Island is good. You can flounder there, and you can also fish it early in the mornings. But weekends and all, you just mark that off your list. So be aware of that, and always be careful around those areas with a lot of people and all coming in and out. It's only a matter of time before they're going to have an accident there with some folks, with that many folks concentrating in that area. So anyway, got to wrap it up. Got some more good stuff tomorrow. We're going to talk about bait fish tomorrow and how you catch some bait fish and how you can hook them and all. So we'll wrap it up for today. Thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Today, do something good for your fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.